Hi everyone. We're going to do things a little bit different this week because we're going to be drawing. Wanted to show you my back office where I've been working for the past um, however long it's been. I guess it's been almost 2 months, hasn't it? You can see I have all my drawing supplies out. Please, you should have your drawing supplies out. So if you do not have them, go get some. Pause the video. Um, Make sure you have something to draw with. So I'm going to do my best to draw and explain what I'm doing. Please, you should be following along and drawing with me. You are not allowed to say that you're not a good drawer or anything like that because the whole point of this is we're going to be practicing together and learning together. So we're going to be drawing 3D figures, and I think probably the most common is a cube, the most basic. A cube has 6 square faces. So the way I typically draw a cube is I will draw a square. And you probably have, maybe not probably, but you might have your own way of doing this. Draw a square. And then I will draw another identical square. Draw this one a little bit lighter, kind of sort of diagonally backwards. So you have 2 squares now. So you're going to connect up like the upper left corner from this one to the upper left corner from that one. Upper right corner to upper right corner. Lower right to lower right. And lower left to lower left. That's typically how I would do it. And today we're going to be experimenting a lot with showing in the background, are these lines totally hidden? Are they dashed? You have options. I think a cube is so familiar that if you don't include them, people will probably know what you mean. But, like I said, we're going to explore options. So here's dashing in and lots of ways. We're going to experiment today with shading. So maybe I'll color in the front light, the top kind of medium dark. That's actually pretty dark. So that means I gotta go super dark. Not doing, oh, there we go. I was gonna say not doing a good job of making it darker, but that does look darker. Of course, when you go that dark, you can't really see the dashed line behind, but that really is showing a 3D shape. If I use all right, cube underneath, cube. Unfortunately, the focus is going to get messed up every time I put my hands, I think, in front of the camera. So I apologize. So here I'm drawing the kind of diagonal lines first because I know where they're going to go. And maybe I'll draw those dashed lines with a different color, kind of a lighter color. Obviously, you saw that I had all these colored pencils. So maybe I'll just pick a few, kind of a medium color, medium light in front. I'm just going to be consistent the way that I'm drawing them. So this one had the light in front, so I'll do that again. And maybe we'll do a green on top. I don't know, why not? Just having fun. Seems a little darker. And then, I don't know, a darker green on this side. So it's definitely colorful. Why not? Let's just draw one more. like so many things, the more that you do this, the easier it'll become. We will talk next week, or maybe next week, about different techniques of drawing it to give it kind of a more realistic three-dimensional quality. But for now, nice math drawing. I think this is probably the I'm not even going to dash in those lines, but I'm going to kind of shade it again just with pencil. So hopefully you've drawn a few cubes now. The most basic three-dimensional shape, I think, for learning how to draw three-dimensionally. I don't know if it's the most basic shape. In fact, the next one is maybe kind of more, what would the word be? More generic. So the cube has 6 identical squares as faces. So what if the different faces were rectangles, were different size rectangles? So this sort of box, for lack of a fancy name, you have a rectangle there, you have a rectangle, and maybe it doesn't really go very far back. So you have all different size rectangles on the front and the back. So we should dash in, indicating the other faces. So we have a front and a back, identical rectangles, a left which is hidden, and a right side, and then a top and a bottom. This is called, the fancy name is the rectangular prism. So a prism, I'll talk about a little bit in more detail in a minute, what makes something exactly a prism, but let's just shade this in. So hopefully you're doing the same right now. And this rectangular prism looks pretty good right now. It had this really large front and back. Maybe it doesn't have those proportions. Here's a different one. Maybe this one goes really far back. And instead of kind of going at a 45-degree angle, maybe I'll go over to back one to kind of just give it a different feel, kind of a different dimension. So you have choices how you want to draw it. I didn't do it on purpose, but this kind of looks like a stick of butter. So we'll definitely color it in butter colored. Rectangular prism. This is almost a square, but it's not. Oh, it is. I didn't mean to do that. It's 4 by 4. Okay. It can have 2 square faces, front and back. That will mean. I'm gonna dash in with pencil, mixing up my different materials, pens and pencils, why not? So in this case, the squares in the front and the back would have one dimension, and then the other 4 rectangular faces would all be identical. So if you were finding the surface area of this stick of butter, you would have to find the area of the rectangle. Well, I called it a rectangle. It is a rectangle. The square in front and the square in the back. Those would be identical. So you would find the area of this one square, multiply it by 2, and then find the area of one of these rectangular, longer rectangular sides, and multiply it by 4. Getting distracted, kind of looking for the right color. It does definitely not look butter colored, but what can you do? It's okay. Definitely looks 3D though. Definitely looks 3-dimensional. So at this point, I want you to draw lots more rectangular prisms on your paper. And I'm going to pause the video here and going to give you a time, give you a little bit of time to draw some more, and then I'll see you in a minute.